Let's start Procreate, and we're going to talk about layers. So I'm going to go to my canvas that I created previously called Clag. And right now, think of layers as sheets of paper that you draw upon. These papers happen to be invisible. That's all it is. Right now, I drew these circles on one layer. What you can do is you can, to find your layers, look on your right top, and the pieces of paper that looks like two squares stacked on top of one another, that's your layers. So click on that. And as I stated, I drew all my circles on one layer. To make your drawing more organizable and easier to manipulate, you might want to use several layers. I myself use hundreds of layers in my drawings. So the first thing I want to show you how to do is to, of course, once you have hundreds of drawings, it's good to name your layers. So you click on the layer 1 and you select to rename, and you just rename it to what you want. I'm just going to call this cat, just because. And another thing that people want to know right up front is how to make this layer opaque. You see across there you have the N. If you click on that N, you have an opacity slider. So you slide down your opacity slider, and that's how you can make it opaque. Okay. So right now I'm just going to put mine down to like maybe 55. And later on I'll go through the other options below: darken, color burn, linear burn, darker color, normal. But for now, just keep it on normal. Okay. Now another thing that people have always asked is, how do I not show this layer? You see after at the right of the N, there's a check mark. Just go ahead and uncheck that, and the layer will disappear. The layer is still there, it's just invisible now. Now, why would you want something like that? Well, let's go ahead and create another layer. To create another layer, you swipe, and you go, oh, I'm sorry, this is how you duplicate a layer. So you swipe, and then you could duplicate it if you want. And you notice that there's another layer on top of it called another KAY, which I was supposed to make it say cat, right? So I'm going to rename this to cat. No, that's stupid. Let's rename this to dog. Okay? So let's rename this to cat so you guys know what I'm talking about. Cat. So we have cat on top, dog on top of the cat. And why you can't see the dog and the cat, you just see one, is because they're so on top of one another that if I go like this and move the dog layer, you can see that it is indeed on top of one another. And if you click on the N on the dog layer, it made a copy of it, so it's also 55% opaque. I'm going to turn this layer, the dog layer, up to 100% so you can see the difference here. Okay, so that's the layers. Now to go back to what I originally wanted to do, how do you make a new layer? You see on the right side there's a big white plus, so go ahead and click on that plus, and that will create a layer. Create another layer. I just created 2. So I'm going to delete the layer 4, swipe, and go delete. Okay. And if I don't want to mess up my cat layer by accident, I can lock it. I swiped and lock, and so now you see there's a lock icon on the cat layer. So I'm gonna go cat, dog, and I'm gonna go mouse. Mouse. Okay. So we have 3 layers: cat, dog, and mouse. And that's pretty much the basics of layers. I'm going to go into depth on what we can do. But for now, on the next video, we're going to move on and show you more things about layers and what we can do. We can add images to it. We could, of course, manipulate the visuals and other things. And all these other things that we can do with the layers too, like alpha lock, the mask, clipping mask, and all reference layers, and all these other things that you see besides the rename. Okay? And before we go, I'm going to put something on my mouse layer just so we can have something for the next video. And make sure you're on the mouse layer, which is highlighted. And I'm going to draw like a little a Mickey Mouse and hope that, you know, we don't get sued by Walt Disney. Okay. Okay. So that would be our little Mickey Mouse. Not even Mickey Mouse, a little mouse for next time. All right, so this is the basics of layers.